Alright, what's up guys? It's Alec, and today I'm going to be bringing you my first performance review, and it's going to be on the Under Armour Speedform Apollo. Alright guys, so here are the shoes. First I'm going to start off with the traction. Overall, the traction is decent, good at best. It doesn't, when you're just for running, when you're running, you're not going to be slipping, but there's definitely parts of the shoe that wear down very quickly. As you can see, the shoes definitely have parts, even where they had the extra rubber, that wore down. And this is, even though I've probably run over 30 miles in these total, within the first 5 or 6 runs, especially the parts right here on the heel and not where the big toe is, those parts definitely wore out faster than I would like them to. And although you're not going to be slipping, over time that could affect your runs. In the midsole, you have their Micro G technology. For most of their shoes, it provides a little bit of bounce in your step, but in these it didn't, but it still provides a very comfortable ride. The whole idea behind this shoe is to be minimalistic and just for you to not even feel them at all when you're running. And they do a very good job of keeping the midsole very minimalistic and not providing much bounce, but at the same time making your run very comfortable. The upper is a neoprene upper, and it's very flexible. And the only support you have on the upper is this silicone heel cup right here. I like this part about the shoe because as you can see, like, there's not one part of this that's really holding you back, and even this is very flexible. So when you're running, you pretty much forget you're wearing these shoes, but at the same time, you're still getting enough lockdown and support that you're not slipping and sliding around in your shoes. On the uppers, the places where there is perforations right there, there, and there, these spots all provide breathability, and when you're running, and even on the tongue, it's basically a net. And when you're running, you sometimes with some shoes, I don't know how to describe it, but your foot gets soaked basically because there's not enough breathability, which is a problem. I would say it's not a big problem, but you can start to feel it. But with these, my feet didn't sweat very much at all. You could feel the airflow, especially if you wear these without socks. I went on a couple runs without socks with these, and you can especially feel the airflow there. So these have very good breathability. The overall materials are very nice. I haven't had any problems with these. I was even able to wash them after practice one day. We played soccer, and I played soccer in these in pretty wet grass, and I got grass stains all over them. I was able to wash them, and the materials went back to the way they were. So the materials are very nice. They've held up. There's not one tear. The overall build of the shoe is good. There's definitely random flaws that are kind of weird, like right there. I don't know if you can be able to see that. Support right there isn't fully placed well, so that's a bit weird, but that's not going to affect the performance at all, so it's not a problem for me. So overall, the build is very nice. There's nothing bad I would say about the build. Everything is placed perfectly, and this is definitely a step up from the older version, where, for example, here there's a split down there for where your middle toe goes, and when you're running, you can actually feel your toes spread a little bit because of that, and I actually like that. It makes it very comfortable. With the old ones, there was individual slots for each of your toes, and it made it, if your toes didn't fall into those slots well, it was pretty uncomfortable. So I like how they changed that. So the overall build of the shoe is very nice. Fit is true to size. If you don't tie them tight, they can feel a little bit big at first, but I like how with these shoes, when the tighter you tie them, the more comfortable and the more lockdown you get, and the foot and the sides basically just conform to the shoe, and it just becomes like a second skin basically. So my overall thoughts of the shoe, I would probably give these a total of an 8.5 out of 10. The only flaws, or the only problems I see with these, is the crazy amount of creasing in the midsole, which isn't going to affect the performance until it starts to, as you can see, it starts to turn dark, and there's not as much cushioning at that point. I think it's just the materials break down a little faster in the midsole, and it just starts to, you don't get, even though there isn't much of a bounce to begin with, you do get less of a bounce. And the other parts of the flaws would be the traction. And I think overall, what they could have improved was possibly putting a little bit more support, because like even the tongue is basically the same, the neoprene material there, and then a net. And there's no cushioning for your foot, and sometimes I notice if I if I was wearing no socks, if I tied them as tight as I would with socks, parts of the tongue would not bite into my foot. It starts to dig into your foot a little bit, especially in this part right here where they fold down the shoe. So I would say maybe just put in a little more cushioning, just so that even when you're wearing them without socks, because these are very good for running without socks, that you could protect your foot a little bit better. So yeah guys, this is my overall thoughts of the Under Armour Speedform Apollo. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.